Hi, it's Reo Wild here from Sportsman's Warehouse. With the hunting season coming up and it getting real close, I want to give you 6 quick tips on how to choose a great arrow, because I think that's one of the parts of a bow hunter setup that is way overlooked. We spend tons of money on cars and vehicles and campers and everything else to go hunting and on our tags, that I think this is one of the most important parts. Number 1, always know your state regulations, whether you can use an expandable broadhead or a fixed blade. That's a big part of getting yourself started on choosing that arrow. I like to start from the front of the arrow because it affects how the whole arrow is built. Leads us to number 2, choosing the right broadhead. Some people like an expander, some like a fixed blade. Know how heavy or how big a cutting diameter do you want. That'll affect how it flies, how it penetrates, lots of different aspects on choosing the right broadhead. Then you get to the insert, which to me is a big part. Some guys like a little more weight up front. You can do that with a broadhead, but a lot of guys will go to a little different broadhead and a little heavier insert to make them have more front of center, which will make the arrow fly a little better in the wind. It just steers it better. So that is one big part of that. Number 4 is, if you understand how an arrow works, when the bow pushes it, it flexes. So the more weight you have up here, the more it makes it flex harder. So find a great size and spine is number 4. You want to use something like the Easton chart is a great starting point, but you want to make sure you have enough spine in your arrow to carry whatever point you got out front, because you have to steer this broadhead in a good direction. 5 is your fletchings. Now that you've got this out front, whatever it is, an expando or a fixed blade, you're inserting however much, you've got a good arrow, you got to have enough to control it. It's like the wings on an airplane. If you don't have enough out there, it's not going to control it enough, and it's just going to not be as lethal or as good a combination. And last but not least, one of the most important parts, I think, is your nock. How it fits on your string is super important. The throat inside here needs to fit on your serving really well. If it's too tight, it'll affect how it comes off. It'll hang up a little bit sometimes and make your arrows not fly as good. Or if it's too loose, it can turn right here and it'll start the broadhead or the fletchings in a different position every time, which will affect in your accuracy and how lethal your setup is. Once you get these 6 points down, you've come up with a lethal combination and you should have good success. Good luck and have a great season.